3.5 elapsed time. I can calculate time.
I can calculate time. Class, I would like your opinion on this. Actually, Yasmin, I only want your opinion on this. Yasmin, when you saw this and then we actually did it, was it more complex than you thought or less complex than you thought? It was more complex. How many of you, by a show of hands, how many of you think that this lesson was more complex than you originally thought it would be? Especially when you get into different bases, right? Cool, 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 cool. So time, everybody, what is time? I'm going to ask that again. What is time? It's a measurement. Sweet. Units of time converted. Really pretty common knowledge. Is there more than one conversion for almost any unit of time? Is there more than one conversion for almost any unit of time?
Yes.
So 1 year can be converted to months, it can be converted to days, it can be converted to seconds, it can be converted to minutes, it can be converted to hours, it can be converted to many things. 1 week could be converted to not just days, but to hours, to minutes, and so on and so forth. So these are just basic conversions, but know that there's more way beyond what we gave you. Here's where things got interesting. When we were adding time, we added our 45 and we added our 15 and we got 60 minutes, right? And we added our 4 and 3 and we got 7 hours, right?
Yes.
No one talks about 7 hours and 60 minutes. No one talks about time in terms of a full 60 minutes. Instead, they convert that full 60 minutes to what? Everybody. You convert that full 60 minutes to an hour. So 7 hours and 60 minutes really becomes 8 hours. When you have 11 hours and 50 minutes and 2 hours and 25 minutes, I'm going to draw a little line here because these are two different things. We said simply add 0 and 5, you get your 5. 5 and 2, you get your 7. Keep your little colon there, which separates your hours and your minutes. We got 3 and we got 1. 13 hours and 75 minutes, and now a simplified form would be 14 hours and 15 minutes because we don't keep a full 75 minutes, do we? We take 60 of them away, add it to the hours, so we have 14, and we still have 15 minutes left over, right? Okay, you guys all cool with that?
Yeah.
When we went to subtracting time, things got really interesting. We knew that we couldn't subtract 30 and 20, could we?
No.
So instead, we borrowed an hour and we added 60 minutes. So we converted our hour back to minutes now, and instead of dealing with 20 minutes, we were dealing with 80 minutes, right? Okay? When you subtracted them, we went 80 minus 30 and got to 50. Now, real quick, we didn't talk about this. If I have 12 hours and 20 minutes and 9 hours and 30 minutes, and you simply subtract the 0 and the 0, you get what?
0.
Can you subtract 3 from 2?
No.
No, you could actually borrow a 1 here, right?
Yeah.
And you could actually turn this into a, no, it would be an 8, right?
Yeah.
That's hard because now we're talking about base 6, right? That's hard to deal with. So we said, don't do that. So when you're subtracting time, we said, deal with the entire 20 minutes and 30 minutes as a whole. And then we borrowed an entire hour, and we turned our 20 minutes into 80 minutes because we added the whole hour to the 20 we already have. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does everybody see why we added, or why we're looking at these as 20 and 30 instead of just separate 0, 0, 2, and 3? Unless you're really good with base 6, deal with the entire minutes at one time. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. And then once we did our subtraction, we got 50 minutes and 2 hours, 2 hours and 50 minutes. Last thing we did then would be fractional time units. Half of an hour, we wanted to go to minutes, so we multiplied by the number of minutes in an hour. An eighth of an hour, we wanted to go to minutes again, so we multiplied by the number of minutes in an hour. Last one, we wanted to figure out what half of a decade was in years, so we multiplied our 1/2 by the number of years in a decade, which is 10, right? Questions on any of this before I stop?